We are to love all equally, not one more than the other. Do not do as Jacob did to and for Joseph his son. Now, in Genesis chapter 37, Jacob lived in a land of his father's sojournings, in the land of Canaan. These are the generations of Yaakov. Joseph, being a 17-year-old, was pasturing the flock with his brothers. He was a boy with the sons of Bilhah and Zilpah, his father's wives, and Joseph brought a bad report of them to their father. Now Yisrael loved Joseph more than any of his sons, because he was the son of his old age, and he made him a robe of many colors. But when his brothers saw that their father loved him more than all of his other brothers, they hated him and could not speak peacefully to him. You shall treat all of your children equally. Understand this. Do not favor one more than the other. Now there are effects to doing otherwise. As for when they get older, they shall always remember the kind of love and relationship that you had with them as a parent. As to when they get older and in your old age, they could choose to spend more time and visit and assist their mother and father-in-law than with you in your time of need and companionship and aid or assistance. Now, as for another major lesson to be taught on this in regards to siblings relationships because of this, because when we recall all that Joseph's brothers did to him, in reality, it was all on Yaakov, their father. And it was thus on him as the reason that his brothers, Joseph's brothers, Yaakov's sons, being let out of envy and jealousy, as for the reason to rid themselves of their brother Joseph and sell him into bondage and slavery. Now, speaking about Joseph, there is something else to be learned from his situation in his life. Now in Genesis chapter 39, verse 6, now Joseph was handsome in form and appearance, and after a time his master's wife cast her eyes on Joseph and said, lie with me. But he did what we should all do, and he refused and said to his master's wife, behold, because of me, my master has no concern about anything in the house, and he has put everything that he has in my charge. He is not greater in this house than I am, nor has he kept back anything from me except you, because you are his wife. How then can I do this great wickedness and sin against Yahweh God? And as she spoke to Joseph day after day, he would not listen to her, to lie beside her and be with her. So now, remember, to be like Joseph in that moment, if you are tempted or being seduced into sin or preyed on by the evils of this world, such as by the opposite sex, and flee and place Yahweh and our Messiah, Yeshua, first, and say to yourself, how then can I do this great wickedness and sin against God? And remember and say the Shema. In Deuteronomy chapter 6, verse 4 through 9, hear, O Yisrael, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. And you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all of your might. And these words that I command you today shall be on your heart. You shall teach them diligently to your children, and shall talk of them when you sit in your house and when you walk by the way, and when you lie down and when you rise. You shall bind them as a sign on your hand, and they shall be as frontlets between your eyes. You shall write them on the doorpost of your house and on your gates. And if you are for the Lord, he will be with you as he was with Joseph. Now in Genesis chapter 39, verse 21, but the Lord was with Joseph and showed him steadfast love and gave him favor in the sight of the keeper of the prison. And the keeper of the prison put Joseph in charge of all the prisoners who were in that prison. Whatever was done there, he was the one who did it. Now the keeper of the prison paid no attention to anything that was in Yosef's charge, because the Lord was with him in whatever he did. Adonai, the Lord, made it succeed. And remember that, behold, the virgin shall conceive and bear a son, and they shall call his name Emmanuel, which means God with us, our Messiah, Yeshua, Jesus. May Yahweh bless you and keep you. May Yahweh cause his face to shine upon you and be gracious to you. May Yahweh lift up his countenance upon you and give you shalom.